Hello, I'm Margaret Seaman, and last year I knitted Great Yarmouth Seafront. This year I've decided to knit Sandringham House. It will be a project in progress because I can't get it all done by the date. I have been knitting for lots of years. I've knitted for my children when they were young, and then the grandchildren, and then of course the great-grandchildren. And I've always done a certain amount of knitting, but I've never done anything like the projects before. But I really enjoy doing them. It keeps me occupied, something to do rather than sit and get bored all the time. While I'm capable of doing it, I'm carrying on with it.
After the success of her knitted Great Yarmouth model at last year's Norfolk Makers Festival, 90-year-old Margaret wanted to challenge herself to create something new and exciting for this year.
I'm trying to think of something that will interest people, and it's really hard to do because I did think that I would like to do Norwich Marketplace, but because all the stalls are on such a slant, I thought it would be much too difficult. So I'd been thinking a lot about it, and I suddenly hit the idea on Sandringham House because my grandson took my daughter and I there for my 90th birthday, and we stayed a couple of days and it was so lovely. I suddenly thought, why not Sandringham House? Everybody knows Sandringham House. So that's how that came about. I'm doing the main house, both sides of it, which is the entrance that the public use when they go to visit and go inside the house to see it, and then the other side, which is the royal side, and then there'll be all the lawns and the paths and the trees. And I'm doing the lake with the little house on it and the entrance and the rhododendron walk, which is about half a mile long, I think. We seem to be ages walking through that. So I've got a friend of mine who knits the little model people for me. She's knitted the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, and lots of characters to walk around, a gardener with his wheelbarrow and everything. So she does that, and another lady helps me with some of the flowers and things. And of course my daughter, I'm always here with her, so she'll do anything she can to help.
Before embarking on such a project, most people would spend ages drawing up plans and working out measurements, but Margaret has a different technique.
That's in my head normally. I don't stop and write things down. I always think that's a waste of time. Now I start on a piece, work so far on it, and then if I get stuck so I can't think what to do next with it, I leave it and start on something else. Usually I've got 5 or 6 pieces on the go at the same time, and I work on whichever one my brain will tell me to do. Usually about 8 or 9 hours during the day, and then I go to bed at 9 at night, and I knit another 3 or 4 hours once I'm at bed. Don't normally go to sleep till 1 or 2 o'clock sometimes at the moment, with so much to do.
Margaret was the talk of last year's Norfolk Makers Festival, with thousands of people eager to see her knitting skills. She also attracted TV and newspaper coverage.
I really still can't believe last year happened. It was such a surprise, and that, because I don't really think I ever had any courage in what I was doing. It never seemed to me that it was going to be any good to raise money with. But I was wrong about it, and that has raised quite a lot of money, which I'm very pleased about.
As well as displaying her knitting for people's enjoyment, Margaret also uses her skills to raise money for local causes. This year she's supporting a little girl called Anna Poppy, who was diagnosed with brain and spinal cancer. Her family are raising funds for her to travel abroad to receive further treatment. And once the Norfolk Makers Festival has come to an end, Margaret plans to take her Sandringham model on a tour of other venues. It
will go on show at various venues to raise more money. It will be in shopping centres, and Sandringham have even asked to have it, so I'm looking really forward to it. If it goes to Sandringham, it would be really something, wouldn't it?
You can see Margaret's knitted Sandringham in progress throughout the whole of Norfolk Makers Festival at the Forum in Norwich from February the 8th through to the 23rd.